Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Ask Matt. If you're in here live, give me a quick thumbs up. Let me know that everything looks okay, sounds okay. If you're catching the replay, if you're here for the first time, be sure to, and if you're not, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Really makes a huge difference. And if you are new, subscribe, check out the rest of the channel. There's tons of value, tons of, I guess, objectively good stuff. And yeah, you should definitely go back and check it out. And it'll also let you know when I'm doing this again, so you can be in here live. Let's see if this is working. You guys here, let me know in the chat. Are we good? If you are catching the replay, feel free to skip ahead, 2-3 minutes or so if you just want to get straight into the questions as we let people get in here and start asking away. But either way, hit that thumbs up. Makes a big difference. What should I update in the meantime? I don't know. I don't really know. I guess I don't really have any super updates right now. I guess in the meantime, as we wait for questions, a question I have for you guys is, what videos do you want to see? I'm always looking for ideas. I make these for you guys, so I want to know what you want to see. So let me know. Give it another minute or so. Let some more people get in here, and then we'll get into the questions. All right, looks like we're getting people. Hit thumbs up if you just joined. What's up, guys? Hope you are doing super well. Nice haircut as usual. It's getting long. It's actually kind of like, I don't like it right now. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I can. I don't like it. I need a haircut. What's up? What's up? All these people. How are you guys doing? I was saying, if you guys have video ideas, I'd love to hear them. If they're in the live chat, I probably won't see that later, but on the actual video, leave comments. Let me know what you want to see in the Facebook group, all of that. I would love to know what you guys want to see. What else can I do to kill a few more seconds before we jump into the questions? Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, at Matt Loberstein. Facebook group. Join the Facebook group. Free entrepreneurship Facebook group in the description, as well as a biohacking and health obsessor Facebook group in the description. Zero to Brand. If you are interested in Zero to Brand, that is my A to Z Amazon and brand building training program. Teaches you everything you need to know, start to finish, whether you know nothing, whether you're already selling, how to build a brand, how to leverage Amazon to make profitable sales and leverage the start of your brand. That is all in there, covered in a nice, tight, thorough package. So would love to have you in there for those that are ready and interested. If you guys have questions about that, I'm always down to help. Anyways, questions. If you're in here live, ask questions. If you're not in here live, hit the bell so you can be in here next time. Recommendation for insurance. Emailed me. Sorry if I didn't get back to your email. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, if you're talking product liability insurance, contact, I forget her company name, but her name is Ashlyn Haddon. If that, you can always ask in the Facebook group as well if that's not clear, but that was who I used, and yeah, she can do product liability, general liability for Amazon, all of that. So what's your channel about? Interesting question. How did you find me? If you're asking that, I'm really curious. This channel and is mostly about Amazon FBA, selling physical products and making money on Amazon. Rather than buying from Amazon, you're selling on Amazon. You're making profit off of all those awesome little Prime purchases. So over the past handful of years, I've built a 7-figure business selling my own products that I'm sourcing directly from manufacturers, putting under my brand. If you look back on my channel, pretty much all of it is the story of how I've done that and what I'm doing moving forward as I grow as an entrepreneur and all of that. So that's the bulk of my channel, but I would say it's more zoomed out. It's really just about optimizing your life in general. Amazon is one way to make money. Making money is one way to improve your life. And I think the reason we do these things is really for a broader goal. So I think that that's really kind of what it is on a deeper level, I would say. Let's see. Don't forget to hit thumbs up. How many of you have done it? How many of you have done it? Let me see. I'm checking on you. Actually, I can't see on here. Forget it. I'll trust you. Can I trust you? Did you hit the thumbs up? Crap, now I lost my spot. I'm going to be in San Francisco next week. Sammer, drive up. We'll make a ton of videos. I'm going to be up there. Not next week, though, but our timing keeps being slightly off. That's funny. How long does it take for a trademark to go through? Usually I think it's like 8 to 10 months or so. There's probably a bit of variance just depending on maybe how backed up they are. I think mine took somewhere around 9 months. I'll talk about that for a second just in case people are wondering, should you get a trademark? I would say you don't need it starting out for sure, but once you have a brand and things are going really well and you're starting to get to a point where it's something you want to protect and you see the long term in it, then it's probably going to be worthwhile to invest in a trademark and get that long process started so that when it's done you have some more protections with Amazon, brand registry, you get some added features and protections. Do you need an office scene to start and being good on Amazon FBA? Not sure what you mean office. I don't know if you meant an office. You don't need a physical office. I used to have one. It was a great day when I got rid of it. Shut it down. It was like a warehouse office. It sucked. I think one of the best parts of this business is the fact that it can be hands-off and you don't need a physical office. So I would avoid it. How to increase sales with a new product with no or very few reviews and PPC is getting too costly. You know, I think I want to touch on the PPC part specifically because I had a couple of consultation calls today that had the same issue, and like I just don't think people are diving into PPC enough, especially at the beginning, and they're not understanding the long term of it is that you need to build up momentum through PPC, and so too costly. I can't really respond to that without knowing your exact situation, but I would be like, I would almost bet on the fact that too costly probably just means you haven't really like dove in and really understand everything, and you're probably wasting money in a lot of areas, but there's a lot more you could be doing there. Some niches it just won't work, and then you have a conversion issue. So you have to realize is that PPC and conversion, well, everything in conversion, these things go hand in hand. So if you were able to double your conversion rate, that would make your PPC twice as effective immediately, right? Because you're paying for traffic here. Is it converting here? If your conversion rate were to double, immediately your PPC is twice as effective for every 2 clicks you give, now another one buys, hypothetically. That's an extreme example, but that's how conversion and PPC need to be looked at together. Is Amazon FBA dead? Yes, video over. That was my first big video. Well, biggest video. Is Amazon FBA dead? I think it has like 75,000 views. I haven't been able to have a video go even like semi-viral in so long. Like I really wish I could get another one of those and get some growth for the channel, because I feel like the channel growth has definitely not quite been what it could. So that one worked, but I also don't like to just make like that type of stuff. I don't know. Let's see. Looking for questions. That's kind of a long one about listing optimization. Could you talk briefly about doing your first listing? What keywords to use, when and how to optimize it? I'll try to keep this brief. I'll start with the last part, when and how to optimize it. 2 pieces to this. Number 1 is optimize it as much as you can by the day you launch, because that way if you get that immediate traffic or you turn on PPC or you run ads or whatever, that way the listing converts better, like we just talked about, by the first day. That's very important. Part 2 of that second question is you can always keep refining this. Like listing optimization is one of the things you can keep doing forever. Like that's one of the only day-to-day things that's left once you have a successful product, is basically like optimization, right? So it never ends necessarily. But doing your first listing, you know, I would say, to keep it short, I would say keywords, yes, important, but focus on conciseness, clarity, and looking legitimate over keyword stuffing. I would say that one tip is almost enough to ride you through building a pretty solid listing. Keywords are important, but don't just like, you know, like put every keyword possible just like separated by commas in your title and your description. Let's see. I'm a little behind in the chat, so if I skipped your question, just ask it again. I like to ask them more. I like to stay with the more recent ones so you guys don't feel like I'm behind. Is there a good website where you can buy video editing? Yeah, I mean, I found my editor on a site called onlinejobs.ph. He's worked with me for over 2 years in my Amazon business and now as my editor as well. I do have an affiliate link in the description if anyone wants to use Online Jobs. It is the best place to find virtual assistants. I mean that. I've made a few videos as well. You can just search my name, virtual assistant, or something like that on YouTube, and you'll find them. I talked in depth about hiring virtual assistants. Online Jobs is the best one because there's others like, you know, Fiverr and Upwork, and those are good. But if you want somebody to work with you consistently for a long period of time, like as an employee, Online Jobs is for sure. It's a job posting site. It's not just like gigs and cheap work and stuff like that. So highly recommend Online Jobs. If you do use my link, I do get a kickback if you want to help me out. If you don't, fine. But I genuinely, like, I was using this years ago. And you also don't need it forever. Like there is like a monthly charge to be able to contact the people, but you can cancel once you find somebody. So, you know, I'll use it when I need it, and then I stop using it when I don't need it. But let me know if you have any more questions on that. I don't really want to go any deeper into that unless you have questions. Easiest market to get into for your first product: kitchen, home, sports. Here's the deal. That is an upside down way of looking at it. I would never start with the category and then try to find the product. It's just not the right way. I would find the opportunity, and whether that's in patio or outdoors or, you know, what are some office, like that doesn't really matter. That's just the way Amazon categorizes these things. Like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. What matters more is if you can find an opportunity that the numbers make sense, the competition makes sense, your ability to source it and sell it profitably is doable. You can build it out into a brand and have an audience and think of interesting ways to market it. Those things are much more important than, oh, I need to find a product in like the gardening category. Is it safe to launch a product that is so new and early that there are not so many keyword searches yet, but should grow? It is not my model. That is what I will tell you on that, is I would much rather find something not new. I'd rather find something established, almost a little more matured as a market, and I can just see the landscape. I can look at the numbers. I can see who's here. I can evaluate it. I can see if it makes sense. You're like how you said, you think it will go up, you hope it will go up, but will it? I mean, it's just, to me, like, why take those added risks? And even if it does go up, you're gonna be then playing the same game you would have been playing just going into another one. For me, that's not my model. I would much rather find something I can just find something proven that I can improve upon. It's much more of a less risky way of doing business. How much does it cost to start Amazon FBA private labeling? I have heard $2,000 to $3,000. Here's the thing. I've been actually thinking about this even more recently, and I might make a full video about this. Let me know if this sounds interesting to you. But something that I've realized is when people are talking about how much it costs to start, they're almost like making an excuse to not get started in the learning process, in the product research process, and all of that. Because here's the thing. I don't care if you have $0 in your bank account or $15,000 in your bank account. If you haven't found the product that you want to source, you're not ready to start anyways. So either way, what you should be doing if you have $0 or $15,000 is learning this process, starting to look for your product, finding products that you think are a good opportunity, finding suppliers that you think can source them and asking them for quotes. Then you will at least know how much it costs for the product that you have found. You'll get quotes from the supplier, you'll figure out the minimum quantities that make sense for you, and you'll find out how much that first order will really cost for the opportunity that you found and that you want to get into. That's the only really way to know. And rather than just being like, oh, well, I don't have 2,000 yet, or I don't have 5,000 yet, start finding the product. Find the product, find how much it's actually going to cost you anyways, and then keep doing research, keep refining, keep learning. You're gonna be that much more ready when you do have the money to place that first order. Now, I know the answer you really want is how much is that first order? And I would say, $3,000 to $6,000 typically for the first order. A few thousand extra on the back burner would be great to put on top of going aggressive with marketing, reordering when you need more inventory. So, at 3,000 to 10,000 is really what you're kind of talking. But really, I think what I've realized recently is that this question is more of what I was talking about at the beginning. It's like people are just kind of like, they're waiting to find out how much it takes instead of just starting and finding out how much it will take. So let me know if that was interesting too, because I might make a whole video rant about that one and just explaining, because yeah, 70 likes, 70 watching, 25 likes, hit the like button. I appreciate that, Rich. Yeah, guys, hit the thumbs up. Why not? If you're in the live chat, you have to hit the X on the live chat, hit like, and then hit live chat and come back. You won't leave. You have to just go hit the like button. A follow-up question, how to increase conversion rate while having few reviews? Yeah, reviews are certainly an aspect of conversion, but not the only one. Look, photos, it's all of listing optimization. So ultimately what you need to do is any edit to your listing, you should test to see the impact on your conversion rate. So if you try a different set of photos or you try a different first photo, you should then go and see what did this do to my conversion rate? Did it make my listing convert better? Did it make it worse? Did changing the price make it better or worse? You should be doing all these tests and monitoring your conversion rate to try to tune it up as best you can. What are your thoughts on PPC done-for-you services? I've never used them because I think I'm pretty good at PPC. I've had people ask me to do done-for-you services for them. I don't know. Maybe. I think it would be hard for me to offer that because I think just to charge enough that it would be worth my time, it would make it pretty tricky to make it worth it for you, especially for people that are just starting out. If people are doing 7 figures already or something, then yeah, spending 3,000 or 5,000 to have me do it or something might make sense. But if you're just starting out, I'm not. What am I gonna do? Work on it for 100? It's just not gonna make sense so early. So I don't know. And I think that would apply to other ones too. Not just saying for me, but how it'd be. I don't know. I think you have to do some things. But if you're operating at a higher level, I think that's when you should look to outsource. If you're just getting started and you're on a budget, you can't expect somebody else to blow up your business for you. You kind of need to hold the reins at the beginning. If you're scaling and you're growing, then you can outsource things to agencies and stuff like that. Guys, thumbs up, please. Or if you don't, tell me why not. Let's see. Looking for some good questions. Richard, I'm not sure what you meant about the factory question. I don't know if there was a typo in there. It didn't quite make sense to me. Hi, Matt. Please, what is your formula to sort filters in software when searching products? I mean, rating, sales, how would recommend sort the filters? This is something I've gone in depth about in other Q&As and other videos, but maybe I should make another videos strictly about this instead of, because it comes up in Q&As a lot, but I'm not even sure I have an exact video addressing this, but here I'll do the short version is criteria, exact listing criteria that all these other gurus are telling you, just put in 10 here and 50, less than 50, like all these things. It's bullshit. It's stupid. It doesn't work. It's really, really, really dumb. Please stop looking for that. It's not good. Here's why. Everyone does the exact same thing. Everyone puts in the exact same stuff, and then everybody calls me up on a consultation call, and they all show me the same freaking product, and then they all launch the same product, and then they all fail on the same product because they all found the same things using the same criteria. So it is not smart to just put in the exact criteria that some guy on a YouTube video told you. You need to get creative. You need to think about it in a way that makes sense. Does that mean all criteria are stupid? No, it just means you shouldn't put in exactly what somebody says. You need to tweak around. If I told you only look at products that have less than 75 reviews, well, maybe you should look at products that have between 75 and 100 for a change. Or maybe you should look at, I don't even want to go too much further just because I have covered this a lot, but here's what you should know. Exact criteria suck. You need to find your own. You need to maybe you're looking at a lower volume selling product, but it's a higher price point, therefore they cancel out and it's the same. So you can't just expect these exact criteria. You need to tune something up, tune something down. They're all in balance with each other. So, and if you do just want somebody else's criteria to type in, you are at higher risk than anybody of choosing a product that's not going to work. So please trust me on that. It's just not the way to go about it. What is the maximum number of sellers or results for a particular keyword before you judge whether there are too many sellers? This is kind of back to what I was just addressing. Here's the thing though, for the competition aspect, it's a balance of market size. So in some cases, one competitor could be too much. If you find a product and only one person is selling it, but they're doing $800 a month, guess what? It's saturated. It's not going to work. It's too small a market. On the other hand, you might find a massive market that has 50 different sellers all doing 10K a month. Maybe there's still room for you to do 10K a month in that one. It's very possible. So it's not an exact number of competitors. That's a good example to what I was just talking about, is it's not about exact criteria. It's about evaluating each one on set parameters. Like, you need the lens to be able to look at a market and determine, does it fit? Does it make sense for this? Does it make sense for this? Does it make sense for this? So like, for example, in Zero to Brand, when I go into this and teach this, it's not about just like, hey guys, put in 100 here and then hit go and then it spits out your product. It's about giving you the tools and the lens to be able to evaluate each market. And does this make sense with 10 competitors? Does this make sense with 3 competitors? Does this make sense with 75 competitors? Maybe there's opportunities in either. You could get into a smaller market that only has a few competitors but might have room for you to do decently. And then on the other hand, maybe a bigger market can support a lot more competition. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's the way I look at it. I can't do giveaways on my account because I supposedly violated their review guidelines. What's the other way I can go around this? This is not directed at you, but like, this is making me realize that I need to like remake some of my older videos, because maybe I've got some new people in here that maybe don't even really know my philosophies towards Amazon and what has worked for me and the way that I talk about these things. So I might need to like remake videos on some of these topics, like the criteria and product research and like giveaways and reviews and all of that. So the thing is, as I haven't done giveaways in 2.5 or 2 years, it's not the way. It's the old way. It's the old guru way of 3 years ago. It's outdated. It's not right. It's not the right way to do it. So I don't recommend doing giveaways anyways, using those sites, all of that. What you should do is aggressive marketing to drive sales on your product to real people. So that can mean creating your own promotions and giveaways, not really, but doing it yourself, but not by using giveaway services. That's very different to the way Amazon looks at it in terms of the rules. So by doing it yourself, you are building your own audience. You are finding your own customers. You're not just, paying for this service that can jeopardize your account and get you into situations like that. What is your advice as a supplier to find people who want to put products on Amazon and resell? That's interesting. Depends where you are. I mean, if you're like a manufacturer in China, for example, I would say optimize your Alibaba the way we talk about optimizing your Amazon listings. You have to look trustworthy and have great pictures and everything just look very nice and clean and legitimate and all of that. If you're with it, if I don't, I'm speculating, by the way. I don't do this, but if you were like a US supplier, I don't know, like, network in all of these different areas that Amazon sellers hang out and go to meetups, stuff like that. What's the best method for paying for your first order? Credit card or PayPal? Best way, safest way is trade assurance through Alibaba and paying it with a credit card. Then you get the protections of trade assurance. That's like a escrow service within Alibaba. Plus you put it on a credit card. So it might even be an added layer of security if you need it. You should do one video a week or month where you critique in depth a random private label product from Amazon. Yeah, I like those ideas, but it opens a weird thing where it's like if I'm showing a product, like there's gonna be one person watching that it's their product and they're gonna hate me for that. It's just like it's hard to use exact real examples because like I've seen every example. I've talked to people with every product basically at this point. Like I know somebody selling in every niche basically, or I've looked at it myself, or I've considered it, or I'm in it. So it's a weird thing to like give exact examples. I don't know. I need to think if there's a way I can do it without causing more problems than benefit. But yeah. How do you create a brand with products? Can you elaborate? I'm not sure I fully understand where to start with that. Sure. This one might be a bit of a longer explanation. I'll keep it a little tight. Where'd the question go? Yeah, I lost the question. Oh, okay. So the way I see it is find a product first. Use criteria, figure out, but not really, right? What I mean is use Amazon's ecosystem. Understand, is this going to work for Amazon? Is this an opportunity for Amazon? That still is the groundwork step, but most people only get to that point. Part of my step, my like sort of 5 criteria to it, one of them is, can this product be built out into a brand? And if it can, it passes that. If it can't, that's going to be factored into if this opportunity is worth going for. So here's what it means. Are there other products that people buy with this product? Are there other products that this type of customer buys? Are like the things that can tie a brand together are many. Start with product line. Think about what other products make sense with this product. Look at other brands. Look at what they're selling. I'll use the coffee example because I've used that a lot. You're selling a French press for making coffee. Are there other sizes? Are there other materials? Are there other types of coffee makers? Are there coffee grinders? Are there coffee storage, coffee beans, filters? I mean, there's a million products. So maybe coffee is your brand, or maybe it's coffee and tea. Maybe it's a kitchen, maybe it's a high-end kitchen brand or something. There's a lot of different ways, but you can think about the end customer. You can think about the quality or materials that hold it together. You can think about the use or the function or the interest or the hobby that holds it together. And within that, you build a product line that serves a specific market. And that is what brand emerges from. And then your brand stands for something. Your brand kind of stands for, we help people do this, or, our brand is committed to XYZ type of, benefit or making the best of whatever. Like, it's more than just we sell stuff on Amazon. Let's see, looking for questions. Do you try to capture email addresses with something like inserts or coupon codes? That is a great strategy. I was just talking to somebody about this earlier. Insert card in your product package could be used for a few different things. It could be used for asking for a review. Now I have to be careful since I said that. You can't ask for a review and give a discount or something like that. But maybe you're using it to ask for a review, or maybe you're using it to get people to join your email list, follow you on social, give them a 20% off their next order and capture your email, something like that. Those are excellent strategies that I definitely highly recommend doing for sure. Have you launched with using just PPC? Yeah, actually just in the last 2 weeks, I had mentioned this in a recent video. I have a project with so this person was paying me for consultations multiple times to get my help with launching on Amazon, and then they joined the Zero to Brand course, and then I kept helping them, and ultimately we ended up striking a deal together. So I actually have a vested interest in this guy's product and brand, and he's mainly doing the work. I'm doing advising and helping steer and do stuff like that based on my experience. And so he's busy. He's got a bunch of businesses too, and the product was getting into stock, and we both got a little busier than expected, and the product just got there, and we honestly didn't do a lot of the stuff that we are still planning on adding on top of this launch, right? So far it's only been PPC, and it's going really well. I think our highest day of sales was almost $600, and it's only like 2 weeks in. So yeah, honestly, I don't think anything else went into that launch other than PPC. So it's definitely possible, though anything you can do on top is fantastic. I'm not saying to only do PPC, because that obviously is going to lower your chances of cutting through in a lot of cases. But is it possible in a lot of cases? Yeah, honestly it is. Just go for like a slower launch type of strategy. It can definitely work, and I've seen it many, many times. Jungle Scout or viral launch? I've personally not. I assume you're referring to viral launches market intelligence. I've personally not used it, and that's because I've always had Jungle Scout. I've always liked Jungle Scout. They've been in it the longest. I have it already. I trust it, so I don't have really a reason to go try out other ones. I like Jungle Scout. I like the guys behind it. I like the team. I am a fan of it, so I really don't have a reason to go try out newer ones. That's just the way that I see it. So I have the Jungle Scout extension, which I definitely recommend. If you're going to get any paid tool, I would probably get that. Then there's also the web app, which is useful but less needed. You could get it and you could stop. That one's a monthly charge, so you might want to get it, you might not want to get it. Type in my name and Jungle Scout. I've made a few videos about it. If you do want Jungle Scout, I even have a discount. So there's a $20 off the extension link in the description. I do get a kickback. But if you're going to get it anyways and you want to help me, and you won't, it's win-win, right? Affiliate stuff is weird, but like I only am affiliate, and I guess I'll say this since I have new people, but I would only ever be an affiliate for stuff that I use. You guys that have followed me a while obviously know this, but maybe I haven't been reiterating stuff enough, and I have new people. So I'm only going to recommend something that I personally use and I personally very much believe in. And Jungle Scout has been one for years. So I'm very comfortable in recommending that. And I'm happy that I can give a discount to people that want it. So that's it. If people want Jungle Scout, they can take the discount. That was kind of weird. I don't know. Let's see. Would you ever sell a seasonal product? I have products that are not only seasonal, but they have big seasonal spikes for sure. I think that is really cool. But you might not want something that only does well in a certain season. I think especially if you only have one product, it's your first product or something like that. I think at this point, it's kind of cool for me to have like different spikes in different times of year, which is something that has definitely happened. So I definitely do have products that do better in summer, and I have some products that explode in Christmas and kind of suck the rest of the year, to be honest. I have some like that, but I also have some that do the same all the time. So overall, it like balances out. Sure, my Q4 is way bigger than any other time, so that is seasonal. But what I wouldn't look for is a product that is like, you know, Christmas decorations. Like then it's a much different game, and something that to me it's going to be easier for you to deal with later when you have more cash flow. You can take more risks, because how are you going to know how much inventory to order? It's like it's a much more of like a shot in the dark technique when you're doing it that way. But there can be great businesses built like that for sure. You should do a semi-annual summary video with links throughout to older videos. Interesting idea. I mean, I guess it's funny because like people can always go back to the channel and look at older videos, which I highly recommend. Like for example, I should have made Q4 videos already, but I made some really good Q4 videos that I really liked last year. So you know, if you're curious about Q4 stuff, type in Matt Loberstein Q4 on YouTube. Or a bunch of other stuff, you know, PPC. I know how YouTube works. Like people are just looking at what's current, so I really should remake and give new thoughts on a lot of these topics. Like make a new PPC video or make a new product research video or stuff like that. I should probably do all of that, honestly. Okay. I like this PPC question. My average manual PPC campaign ACOS is 51% after 1 month. How can I reduce it? I wish I could answer this with knowing your profit margin, because if your profit margin hypothetically is 45%, I would say just you're not spending enough, I would say. As long as it's break even or close to. And here's the thing, if you've been selling a while and this is a mature campaign, then what I would do is you need to go into it. And yeah, it's 51%, but most likely parts of it are 100% and parts of it are 20%. So you need to tune down the parts that are not profitable and tune up the parts that are profitable. That's all, everything PPC in one sentence. Everything PPC in one sentence is this. Test a bunch of stuff and tune up what works and cut out what doesn't. That's how to do PPC the same way you would do it on a multi-million-dollar business. That's the same way I do it on mine and on accounts that I advise and help on. It's the same. I mean, yeah, it gets more nitty-gritty for sure, but that is the core principle that underlies everything PPC. So yeah, it's 51%, but there's probably really good parts of it and bad parts of it, most likely. Hi Matt, love your content, bro. Do you believe that with the right differentiation, even as a new seller, you could compete in a niche that has pretty much the same products, but under 500 reviews? It's just so case by case. I don't think I can give a good answer without looking at it, to be honest. I hesitate to say this, but like, I value reviews a bit less than the average Amazon seller. I think if something with 500 reviews, you can absolutely compete if you have 50, if your product has another edge. Look, the one I just mentioned, the launch that I'm a part of with a partner, we're at a $600 day with 0 reviews. I mean, it's just like, reviews matter, but everyone's a little too obsessed with it. Not that they don't matter. And that's why I hesitate to say it, because it's like, oh, Matt said reviews don't matter. It's like, well, no, they matter a lot, but it's not like the only thing. So, you know, to me, I would like to see some examples of sellers that have maybe less than 50 reviews or something to prove, is it possible to do what I'm about to do? Is somebody taking the bullet for me and proving this out? Then I'm going to feel a lot more confident getting in there, because I can already see what's going on and I don't necessarily have to take that risk first. What course did you personally take to learn the FBA business? Sure, I didn't take one. I did not take a course, and I think that it is completely possible to be successful in this business without taking a course. It really is. I didn't. That said, like, you know, now if I want to learn something, I would much rather pay for a course and just get it in one, like, that's the position I'm in now. But I get not being able to do that or not wanting to do that. But I also, back then, there wasn't a course that I knew of back then. There weren't YouTube channels, there weren't podcasts about Amazon when I was starting. So it was really just, you kind of had to just figure out stuff as you went and ask other people that you knew that might have been doing this. That was really the only way. So it's not that I really even chose not to take one. It wasn't really something that was an option, at least that I even knew about. Like it wasn't a thing yet. So you don't need a course, but the advantages of a course is that there is so much weird, conflicting, wrong, old information out there that the benefit of a course is you get it like all in one place from one trusted source, and it's relevant and up to date if you trust that person to be relevant and up to date. And you don't have to waste so much time trying to dig and evaluate and figure out and all of that. It's just all there. You can refer back to it whenever you need it. The other thing is, like, it's gonna avoid you making costly mistakes. Like, I think that that's a major selling point right there, especially with Amazon FBA specifically, is there's just so many things that you can make a little mistake and lose thousands of dollars. You really can. There's a lot of that. So even if you don't think about the potential ROI, which is obviously like, you could take this course and build I mean, not everyone's going to, but you could build $1 million business or a 6-figure business or whatever. It's very doable. But on the other hand, I think maybe an even bigger direct ROI for paying is the fact that there are so many like little pitfalls where you could lose $2,000 here, 1,500 there, 500 here, like all these little things that can really get you on top of all the time. So, I mean, that's the thing is, like, now I pay for content, but obviously I'm in a different position now than when I was like, had no money and stuff like that. But, I think I've personally changed my view on it. And sure, you could say I'm biased because I do have a course that I do sell. And you're right, but it's also like it's just that I now see the value. That was why I made the course. That's why I feel comfortable standing behind the course, is because it's not just some like, let me trick people into buying a course. It's like, no, this is genuinely a value and a service for the person paying for it. Also, really interesting. I have a background in psychology, and the psychology of paying for something. This sounds weird, but like honestly, even for me at this point, is like, I know that if I pay for something, I'm going to take it a lot more seriously. And that is a major psychological thing that should not be ignored. And it sounds silly, but like really, I have a lot of really valuable content on YouTube for free. But if you had paid $100 to watch this live stream, right now, this live stream, if you had paid $100 to watch me answer these questions that I answered, you probably would be like on the edge of your seat, like really taking it more seriously. And I think that power cannot be underestimated. Like, that is important. So if literally just paying for it is going to make you actually freaking do it and actually pay attention, then the ROI on that alone could be so worth it. And that's a weird way of looking at it. It's just something I'm thinking about lately. I really, it's interesting, but yeah, I mean, the fact that you've paid for something, you'll have that, like, now you have to get your money's worth. You have to, because to your mind, you're like, well, I paid for this, it must be worth it. Now I need to prove to myself that I am not a dummy and wasted my money. Therefore, I need to actually follow it and actually put it into action. There's value in that. Obviously, that probably shouldn't be the only reason you buy a course, but yeah, it'll save you time and it'll save you potential pitfalls. So yeah, I mean, if people are looking to go the course route, I do have a course. It's called Zero to Brand. I personally think it's awesome, and so do hundreds of people that have taken it. Link in the description if you want it. It's down below. But I never like to put high pressure or anything like that. It's for the people that they want to take a course. I'm not gonna say you need it. I literally started this by saying you can succeed without a course. It is possible. But if you're gonna get one, if you want to follow that step by step, hand holding over the shoulder type of path, then that is there for you if you want it. And I'd love to have you in there and see what it does for you. Let's see. Skipping back to the bottom. What are you drinking? This is kombucha. I don't know if that's in focus. I'm a second delayed. but Power Greens kombucha. Not sponsored. Hit me up though, Health Aid. I'm just kidding. Unless they want to pay me like millions of dollars to like talk about kombucha on this channel. That'd be cool. Guys, if you are here, hit the like button. Come on. Why not? Oh, profit margin is 23%, by the way. So that was on that last example. 23% is on the low side. I'll tell you that honestly. That is tricky. That's tough. I would really like to shoot for, 30 to 35 is like the low end to me. And preferably you're at like, 40 to 50 or something. It frees you up to invest in advertising and all of that. So that can make it pretty tricky, I have to say. Would you do anything different if you were starting now? Yeah, I would do everything different. This actually even ties into, not to just talk about the course, but here's the thing is that if I just told you what I did 3 years ago, who would want to pay for that? Like, that's not necessarily what's working now. So everything that I talk about for free too, by the way, I'm just relating this into that too, is like everything I'm talking about and teaching and doing now is not just what I did. It's what I did, what I messed up, what I've learned from, what's working now, all of that combined. So it's what's worked for me combined with what's working now, combined with what didn't work now that used to work, and all of that. So I would do a lot of things different. If I was back 3 years ago, I would have gone way more aggressively because it worked. And I didn't know that at the time. I was taking a risk. I don't know. If I had taken a loan for $1 million and launched brands in 2014, yeah, it would have been really successful. But I didn't know that or have access to that kind of resource. If I was starting now from scratch, that's everything that I talk about. Everything that I talk about is catered towards now. And I think that's the problem with so much content out there. And that's why we're even still getting questions about criteria and we're getting questions about giveaways, is because a lot of people are still looking at very outdated methods. And that's a problem. So be careful with who you're listening to. Look, I'm not the only person putting out good stuff. That sounds weird to even say my own stuff is good, but hopefully you think so. But there are other good ones, but there's a lot of stuff that's outdated. There's a lot of stuff that makes it sound too easy, too short term, too flip of a switch basic, and that stuff is not working now. So what I would do is follow this type of stuff that I'm talking about. Not looking for this massive home run in 1 second, but building out a portfolio of products, building a brand, finding these niche opportunities. Yeah. Quick question for you guys in the chat. How long do you like these live streams to be? Do you like them to be ridiculously long? Do you like them to be kept a little tighter? I'm just curious. I feel like I've also been asking a lot of questions. Would you suggest a new seller focuses on the US market and grow the brand here, or focus on expanding to other Amazon markets? I'm biased, but the US market is what I know and what I am comfortable with and what I understand the best. So that said, there's plenty of opportunity outside the US for sure. But I wouldn't neglect the US, at least, and that is a very biased point of view, because that is what I know and what I do. I have certainly missed opportunities by not putting more of a focus on expansion, but that also allows me to have a deeper understanding of the US market. So either way, there's opportunity on every Amazon marketplace, but I wouldn't ignore the US, even if I was in the UK. If I was in the UK though, I'd probably look at the UK more than if I was in the US looking at the UK, because then I would have less barriers to entry. 2 hours, 24 hours minimum. Long is good. I listen while I work. Could listen to you forever. Damn. Well, thanks, guys. Maybe I'll just turn this into a full live stream. That would be fantastic. What do you start your bid price with an automatic PPC campaign for a product launch? I have one review unverified. I'm getting 200 to 300 impressions, but no clicks, no sales yet. Okay, so the thing is I can't give a set number because it's vastly different for every single product and market. It's, you know, in some markets $2 could be a low bid, and in some markets 50 cents could be a high bid. So I can't really give like a blanket answer to where to start your bids, but it's all about basing it on what's happening. So you're saying that you got 200 to 300 impressions, but no clicks, meaning you've spent zero. That means you need to be bidding higher. You need to get it out there more. So you need to adjust your bid based on what's being spent. So if your budget was say $100, but you only spent $3, that means your bid was too low to actually get the impressions and the clicks to spend your $100. On the other hand, if your budget was $30 and you wake up at 9 a.m. and you see that you're out of budget, that means your bid was so high that it spent your entire budget by 9 a.m. So you could go with a much lower bid. So that should clear that up. I'm catching up to the bottom, so throw in some more questions, guys. Have you ever given up on a product that used to be successful but no longer is? Also, I love your live vids to be 2 hours. Whoa. I have products that, yeah, I mean, I definitely have products that have kind of like ran out their life cycle. Though, honestly, for those, the only products that I've like completely like cut off were ones that I've talked about before, like a couple times I made just like stupid mistakes. But for ones that like had a big up and now maybe they're past their peak, what is your cost to keep them going? It's like not that hard. So I definitely have stuff that is like way past its most successful times, but they're still kind of like rolling along. And I keep them, but they're not like massive winners. Hey Matt, I miscalculated my giveaways and wasn't able to rank and still be profitable. So I'm sitting on 200 units of product. What should I do now to get rid of the rest of my stock? This would relate to anybody who has inventory that's sitting. Is you need to try freaking everything. You need to try different prices. You need to try optimizing your listing differently with the title, photos, all of that, bullets to change your conversion rate. You need to, how much have you done with PPC? Have you done Facebook ads? Have you done, so many different things, but you need to try all of it before giving up. It sounds like it's just too early. Like, it's too early. It's too early to give up on that. So you got to try everything first. How much do you think we should insist trying to ungate a category? I have a product in the warehouse that has been sitting there for 4 months. Amazon is rejecting every document I send them. I'm not necessarily an expert on that. I don't know which category you're talking about either, but if you have the product, I feel like you already have such an investment in it that you have to keep trying, because that would be quite a loss. In most cases, I would say to try to figure that out maybe beforehand, preferably. But geez, yeah. I mean, in your situation, I would say it's pretty dire that you figure it out because you've already invested, you already have the stock. So I would keep pushing, maybe even pay for professional help on that. There are a lot of services that specifically specialize in that. So could be very worth it. Jesus, some tough ones. Best business advice you have ever received. Best business advice you have ever received. It's such a powerful question that it's hard to like I don't like if I say one thing, then it's like I'm gonna think of something else that was better. For some reason, the one that came to mind was something my dad said, which I never took seriously until like I was already in college. Basically, was he would always just say to make your money young. And I was like, yeah, but I want to do what I want to do, and I want to like do what I love. I didn't realize till later that the way to do what you love is to focus on business and stuff, and that is the only way to really be free, is to focus on your own stuff. And the reason he'd say make your money young was because, one, it gives you more time, right? Like you have compounding, you have more, just way more leverage. The earlier you could make your money, the better. And also, I think another big reason of that was that when you're young, you have more freedom and you have more energy. And, look, I don't have kids or stuff like that either, though I'm sure a lot of people watching already are in situations where they have mortgages or kids or dogs and stuff like that, like these responsibilities. But I can tell you that even at 26 years old, I feel like I have way more responsibilities than I had even just a few years ago. So, starting young, it's just like, oh my God, you just have all the time in the world. It's like you can't even believe how much time and energy you have. And that does seem to kind of get taken away in a way. And obviously, like, I'm trying to live a life where I can structure it and craft it in the way that I don't feel like that. And I'm not there. I'm working on it, but I want to feel like I have an abundance of time. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that was one that hit me way after the fact. Make your money young. And semi-related, but who or what influenced you to start your own business? I don't know what gave me this mindset shift, but I'm so glad that it happened. And it was around the time that I was going to community college, and I was working as a server. So I was working at this high-end resort, and I was serving drinks and food to this pool restaurant that was on a hill, and it was like private for guests at this expensive resort only. And it was honestly like a really fun job, super fun. And in a weird way, a few experiences there, I think at least contributed to my mindset shifting. And also just a discontent for the path I was on, like being frustrated at school and never really knowing what I wanted to do. That, like, a lot of things combined, obviously. Or even like stories about like conversations with my dad, like kind of how I just referenced. But anyways, working at this resort, I think a few things that happened. One was that as a server, I realized, wait a second, you can make pretty serious money as a server, like more than a lot of like, degree salary jobs. You can make that in tips. And you can be out in the sun, and you can be running around and having fun and all of that. And it was cool. And, there was, sometimes that was the first time I was like, I made not a lot of money by like what I would think of now, but it was the first, before that I was making, $9 or $10 an hour. And then all of a sudden I was making $9 or $10 an hour plus walking out with $300 some days. And I was like, holy shit. And that combined with the fact of the people that I was meeting and serving and having conversations with, especially the fact that they were kind of tipsy, and they would just say stuff and we get into these interesting conversations. These were entrepreneurs. These were successful people. It was just a different sort of caliber of people that it made me realize, like, whoa, these people are controlling their shit. And also even meeting the founder and owner of that property, of that resort, and just realizing, like, wait a second, like, this guy just, like, made this and, like, made all these other businesses, and I'm working for him. I'm making them money. Like, I think it was just a culmination of a bunch of stuff. And at that time, I started listening to some business podcasts and started reading some books. And, I wish I could know how to, like, transplant the mindset that I've got, but I don't know. It's like you have to get the seed planted in your head on your own in a weird way. So something just needs to spark it. Let me know if that made any sense whatsoever. It was a weird ramble. Geez, that was like a long ramble, wasn't it? If PPC is your only option to launch in apparel category, a $16 product with a 20 to 22% profit, how do you do it? Auto or manual? Mix? Amount per day? Per click? How many days? 20 to 22% is low. I've said that, so that would be tricky, and I would hesitate already. But I would say, to start with auto and manual. I would always do auto, even if you are a analytical wizard of keywords. You should still do auto. There are benefits to auto that don't go away and aren't included in manual. Manual is going to be very effective for targeted keywords that are hyper relevant, and for a bunch of stuff. You should be testing a whole lot of keywords in your manual. You should be running your search term reports and putting those into manual. You should be, maybe exporting from Helium 10 or one of those keyword tools and testing those. But I would at least start with keywords that are hyper relevant and make sense and have proven search volume for your product. Do you use credit cards for business? Do you have any tips for getting the most of those? Yeah, I do, and you should. I would recommend the Capital One Spark Cash, the one that has the annual fee. There's two. The one that has the annual fee gives you 2% cash on everything. So you can put your PPC, you can put, everything on that. It's not necessarily inventory, but everything else. I was going to say ads, but yeah, PPC. Any other type of ads too, though. Thoughts on 80-20 Pareto principle? Yeah, I'm all for it. 80-20 life. Hit the thumbs up for Matt. Yes, please. I make more money as a server than selling FBA currently. Yeah. I really think that the entrepreneurial type of person would be better off. I say this hesitating, of course, but if you have a very, very, very stressful job, and you don't have time to even try your own entrepreneurial stuff, you'd probably be better off serving or bartending at nights and making a couple $100 serving dinner or drinks, and actually having the time and the energy to put into your entrepreneurial endeavor. I honestly think that would be a really cool path to take. You downgrade your career, but you buy yourself the energy and the freedom to go after something on the side. Matt, will you ever come to the state of Georgia someday? That's funny. I was just watching a bunch of videos about Georgia because they just cracked down on the Montana license plate thing for supercars. I was watching some videos on that last night. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to Georgia at some point. I have to say I haven't had much I don't know. Not many people have said that, asked me to, or I don't really know of much of what's even there. But I'm sure at some point in my life I'll go. But yeah. Do you believe in law of attraction? Here's how I feel about law of attraction. I think that if it doesn't work without actually doing stuff. That's the thing. But if the mindset gets you into a place where you do things to attract what you want, then then yes. So I think that some people just take it to mean too far of this out there thing that to me doesn't feel accurate. But I think that there's still a lot of good parts of it that can lead to a lot of real world results for people that take it and implement the action steps to make those things happen, or to make those things more likely to happen. Yo, Matt, what type of watch is that? This is my vintage. This is let's see if this focuses. I don't know if it will. This is a 1971 Omega Speedmaster. I can't tell if that's focused. I don't know. Oh well. Might have focused. My video is delayed. But that is the moon watch. So first watch worn on the moon. This one is from 1971. So it's almost 50 years old. It's cool, aged and stuff. It's a really good watch. I want to make a video about watches and how you can own watches profitably. I'm up in this watch. Sure, it's a few $1,000s watch, but I'm up in it. I bought it for less than that. So I was thinking about making a video of showing my entire watch collection and showing how it's profitable. I used to flip watches. That was my side hustle. Have you ever had to combat competitors maliciously upvoting your 1-star reviews? Amazon has done nothing to help and seems like nobody has an answer. That's a tough one. I mean, I feel like I had that issue a bit, but it always sort of balanced out in the long run. Honestly, the best advice is market harder, get more reviews. Like, I feel like that's the best thing you can do, is just keep pushing in the positive direction. Is Amazon still worth it or saturated? I would recommend you watch my most recent video on the channel. Yeah, watch that video. You can also watch my Is Amazon FBA Dead video, still completely relevant today. Yeah, those should give you really good answers. Matt, I watched one of the gurus bashing a sponsored listing without reviews. He said it's dumb. I laughed at him and thought of your strategy. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, in a weird way, it's probably one of my more controversial viewpoints in terms of Amazon tactics, but nah, trust me, I've launched a lot of products. Look, am I saying it's going to convert as well with no reviews? No, it's not going to convert as well, but it's still very, very worth getting it going. Oh, sorry, the watch was out of focus. Yeah, it's focusing on too wide of an area. It's probably, I'll post it on my Instagram. Plug for Instagram, at Matt Loberstein. Do you have a vision and goals for every area of your life, vision board? No, I haven't. I probably should. I really haven't done anything like that. If I struggle anywhere, it's in organization and really structuring my life. I do struggle in that area. Do you use Quicken or QuickBooks or some other program to track all of your financial information? What do you recommend in that regard? I have a CPA who does bookkeeping and everything else. So they do have me on QuickBooks, but I personally, I don't even touch it like it's theirs, but I do technically use QuickBooks. Yeah, I mean, to me, it would be a nightmare to try to handle that stuff myself, but you need something like that. Please do a video on watches. Would love to learn. Yeah, I think I'll do it soon. I always hesitate to make videos like more unrelated. I feel like they won't do well. Like I had a video like 2 weeks ago that is doing like really poorly, and it was like, I don't know, it's just weird. It kind of makes me feel bad sometimes about YouTube, is it's like, the more I just make like, oh my God, Amazon FBA, like shocking. That's the videos that do really well, which makes sense, but like, it conditions me to like not want to step out of that too, when I just make more other stuff or creative stuff. So I want to make the watch video. I think that would still be relevant because it is like an investment and profitable. And my watch collection is worth like 28 grand or so. So it might be interesting. What do you think if we got into a recession? Will it heavily affect new FBA businesses? You know, I don't know if I have a good answer to that. I don't know. I mean, if the economy goes to shit, it's definitely going to affect consumerism. So, yeah, I mean, obviously I don't think it would wreck the business model, but obviously it's going to have an impact just across the board. Obviously different products would be affected differently than others. But yeah, I don't know if I have a great answer to go too far into that, because I don't think anyone would really know. We would just be speculating. But yeah, I think it will continue, but sure, could it take a hit? Yeah, but would it explode things? Probably not, but it could be a hit. What are your thoughts on tariffs from our current president? I made a video. It's probably about 3 or 4 videos back on my channel. It explains everything you need to know about the tariffs and Amazon FBA. So you can type in Matt Loberstein tariffs on YouTube, or you can just look onto my channel a few videos back and you should find it. Or I might even link it if I remember to do that. But on these long videos, I usually forget to do all the links and stuff like that, because that would be a lot of work to go listen through this whole thing and figure all that out. To the sourcing agent question, sorry, I haven't used sourcing agents. That was why I overlooked that question. I'm not an expert on that. I've just gone direct with manufacturers myself. Probably going to wrap up in just a couple minutes, so maybe just hit a couple last ones if you want to drop something urgent in, and I'll just rapid fire these last ones that I see. Ashish, what's up? You also said not go for giveaway. What alternatives do you recommend? I also did a video on that, sort of. Matt Loberstein, how to launch profitably, something. But short answer would be market aggressively on your own. Don't use those services, but you need to do it on your own, and you need to do every marketing effort you can to build that momentum. I just don't like the services because there's a whole bunch of issues specific to using those. Did you take any public speaking courses? No, have not. I feel like it's something I could still get a lot better at, to be honest. When I first started my YouTube channel, I would say like 1,000,000 times per video. Now I say it like 500,000 times per video. I still say it a lot. I would like to cut down on those. There are some people that just have a way of talking on podcasts or on the fly, giving talks or on videos. And it's as if everything they're saying was pre-written. It just is amazing. It's like copywriting. It's like prose. And that really impresses me. So will I ever get to that point? I don't know. We'll see. Have you ever had a job that you hated or sucked really bad that put you into the entrepreneur mindset? No, I mean, the last job I actually liked, it was the one I gave the story of a few, like 10 minutes back. I enjoyed that job. It was fun. And that was the last job I ever had. That was my last job. As I was working that job, I was flipping cell phones on eBay, and that led into side hustles that sustained me as I started Amazon eventually. So that was my last job. And before that, I just had some other shitty jobs that, I was 16 years old or whatever, and they were all right for what they were at the time. Could January be the best month to launch a new product if some of the competitors are out of stock from Christmas? The best time is always as soon as possible. There's never, I can't think of one instance where you will benefit from waiting, ever. The question about asking friends for reviews. It scares me. It's not allowed. I don't do it. It scares me. That's my personal. Do people do it all the time? Yeah. For me, it's scary. How is Jessica? She's great. Could you explain the feeling you had the day you became a millionaire? It's funny because a lot of people assume I'm a millionaire because I've had over $1 million in sales, but I don't. I mean, what is a millionaire? Like, how do we define millionaire? I've had millions in sales, obviously profit margins below that, obviously expenses and taxes and payments. So do I have $1 million sitting in my personal checking account? I don't. So I'm not a millionaire. Hopefully I will be one, but I don't think we even have clear terms on what a millionaire is. So, and look, I spend a lot of money. Something I need to get better at too is like investing and that type of stuff. No doubt. Like, that is a weakness. Like, for where I'm at, I should have invested more, but I don't know. I should have been smarter about certain tax things that would have saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars probably had I known certain things from the beginning that I still need to implement. So a lot goes to taxes. It's very expensive where I live. I mean, I don't even know if we have a clear definition of what a millionaire is, but I don't think I am one at this point. So have I done pretty well for myself? Yeah, I'd say. But I don't think I have the millionaire title yet. So we'll see. Yeah, net worth of 1 million is the definition. I mean, I guess not. I mean, yeah, like I said, no. I mean, I don't really. I should do more with investing, but yeah, probably haven't been super smart with that. We're getting pretty long on this. You guys said you wanted a long one, so this is the longest ever. So we'll see what happens. But couple last questions. Um, looking for some good ones. I think I'm hitting that point of talking for too long that I can't really even think straight. But have you ever taken out a loan to invest in new products for FBA? Yeah, I've used loans to help with cash flow. And sure, I guess you could assume that went into new products as well. So I really think that when you're scaling an e-commerce business, looking for loans is like really important. I mean, you could use, because cash flow can be a nightmare. I've made a video on that. That would be a long explanation to put right here. So yeah, I mean, you need to look for ways to fund your growth. So I would for sure look at loans. How to start Amazon under 18? I'm not really even sure what, like, so I guess what would be different would be like the legal requirements. I don't know. Can you have like a parent like co-sign on that account or something like that? Probably. There has to be a way. I don't really know like the exact logistics to it, but I'm sure you can figure it out. So shouldn't be too much of a problem. What's your first goal you want to accomplish in 2019? You know, all I really want is to be happy. And I think I'm pretty good right now. I think I'm like shifting a little bit away from like having these massive goals on a pedestal. I think I'd rather just like do what I do and enjoy what's in front of me and have goals and have aspirations. But like, look, if it's 2020 instead of 2019, that's fine. So I don't know. All I would hope is that it's a great year and that I'm happy and I'm doing things that I like, and I'm improving and I'm getting better at everything. Are you still considering upgrading your car? Would you consider a 911 or 911 Turbo? Yeah, I'm considering it. I can't remember if I talked about this before, but it's super annoying trying to buy your first supercar. Really. Because here's the thing. I am not dumb enough, in my opinion, to want to buy a supercar in cash. I think that you need to understand what that means. Like, there is way too much opportunity cost of tying up the cash in a supercar. So it makes sense to finance or lease, even potentially for business owners, for tax advantages, a supercar, because then you're keeping your money in things that produce more money back than tying it up in this depreciating asset. It doesn't make sense. So could I do it? Sure. Would it be stupid? Yeah. So therefore I don't want to do it that way. So I want to finance it. The problem is that the way that high-end auto loans work is that, sure, your credit matters, your income matters. Those were fine. What the problem is that it looks at your previous loan amount, and that is a major factor in how much you can qualify on your next auto loan. Auto loan specifically, because I've had other loans, like for example, inventory and stuff. Like I've had big loans, but the biggest car loan I've ever had is like, you know, $28,000 or whatever. So that means that, you know, trying to finance, you know, over 100, I can't get those loans, even though I have a really good credit score, income is clearly enough, every other criteria except the previous auto loan history. So it's like the only way to get up to the point where you could take like a $150,000 car loan is if you went from 30 to 60 to 100 to 150. And like, so I'm figuring out what to do with that, but it's super annoying. I was trying to look into see if I would be able to qualify for like lease takeovers and stuff like that. I'm kind of looking at that. But the truth is that I'm not going to tie up $160K cash in a car right now. I just don't think that's smart. I think it'd be much smarter to put that cash into other things. Look, if I could finance 80% of that and just, you know, make these monthly payments, I would have done that a year ago. But yeah, it's annoying. And the problem too is like I'm a car nerd and there's just not that much that I really want in like the 80 to 100 range. Like my car is only worth like 30, but I love it. It's such a cool car and it's unique and the enthusiasts appreciate things about it. It's a Porsche Cayman S with a crazy spec on it. and it's an amazing driving car. Manual, of course, carbon fiber, turbo wheels, all of that. But the only thing in the 80 to 100 that I wanted a GT4. But then I talked to people too, and it's like, well, if you're gonna get a big car, like you got to get a car that kind of helps with the YouTube stuff. And the GT4, like people wouldn't even know that this was a different Porsche than the Porsche that I have right now. Like it looks basically the same to anybody. Which, do I care about that? I don't know. But I also considered like an AMG GT Mercedes, but I don't know, it just doesn't excite me that much. Like I feel like I can't really get excited until like McLaren 570S, which is what I would have got like a while back if the financing would play out, but it's freaking annoying. So got to figure that out. I don't know. I guess I got to buy something in the middle just to get that loan history going. But would you consider 911 or 911 Turbo? 997 Turbo was my first dream car, sort of. My Cayman looks almost like one because it has the 997 Turbo wheels spec'd from the factory. So it kind of made me not want that anymore. If I was to get a 911, it would be the GT cars. Those are the only 911s that I really want. GT3, GT3 RS. If I could get anything right now, like, well, not anything, but like, let's say, 250, I would get a brand new 997 or 991.2 GT3 RS, the brand new ones. I think those are sick. I would totally get that. But they're going above sticker, like 50K above sticker, probably end up at 300K basically. I love how when somebody asks me a car question, I just ramble for 10 minutes. That was cool. What are good cars that gain value? Rolls Royce. Most of the cars that gain value are very specific exotic cars and hypercars. So the cars that go up the most in value are the $1 million cars. If you bought a brand new McLaren P1 in 2014 or whenever they came out, for $1 million, that car is worth like $3 now. Same for the 918 Spider, the Porsche hypercar, Koenigsegg's, Paganis, they go for above. So if you have $1 million to buy a $1 million car, those go up. LaFerrari went way up. Those go up like crazy. Rolls Royce, they don't really go up. There are a lot of cars that you can hack, like you can buy it, drive it, and sell it for the same price, which there are some Rolls Royces you could do that with. But they don't really go up. Couple more. I know I've been saying that for like 30 minutes now, but I presume you have a business card, right? Do you feature your Amazon sites on it, or do you just have your own name and contact information? I do not have a business card, and I probably won't ever have a business card. Follow me on Instagram at Matt Loberstein. I don't do business cards. It wouldn't have my stores on it. I mean, if I were to have a business card at this point, it would be a business card of like me as a personal brand. Like it would probably have like my Instagram and YouTube and all of that type of stuff, contact and all that. All right, guys, that has been a hell of a live stream. If you've stuck with me that long and you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. Truly appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out with me for this long. That was a cool on-the-fly experiment to see what would happen if I stuck on here for an hour and 23 minutes. So hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you've somehow found this and you haven't subscribed. Subscribe because I have way more videos coming. I have a lot of videos already on the channel. The bell next to the subscribe, you really got to hit that so you'll be notified when I post the next video or when I go live, so you can jump in here and play the game live with me. Follow me on Instagram at Matt Loberstein everywhere. My Facebook page, Twitter, you can connect with me, all those places. In the description, there are free Facebook groups, 2 of them actually. One is for Amazon and entrepreneurship, and the other is for the biohackers and the health nerds, and that is an area that I am very personally interested in, and a lot of my personal interest is there. So that one's just all for fun for the other people that are interested in pushing the limits and optimizing their brain and health and longevity and energy and all that. Also in the description is Zero to Brand. I'll mention it since I did talk about it in the live stream. So Zero to Brand, A to Z training program taught by myself of everything that I've done, everything that I've learned and succeeded at, everything that I've messed up and learned to avoid. It's all in there, A to Z. You could know absolutely nothing and it starts at absolutely zero. That's what's called zero to brand. Though there's also plenty of people in there that have already had a first product, and maybe they had a first product that didn't go super well, and now they've gone in and they've shifted their business plan, and now their second product has a completely different philosophy. There are surprisingly a lot of cases of that. So maybe you're in that boat too. I didn't want this to be a basics course, like zero to launch. It is not that, but it's also not launch to advanced, because I didn't want to neglect people that were starting at zero. So it really is a beginner and an advanced course in one. If you're starting at zero, it's going to be everything you need to get up and live and selling hopefully a profitable product on Amazon, but it's also that roadmap to scaling this thing for years to come, to expanding out your brand and your product lines, to, Facebook ads off of Amazon, driving to Amazon, setting up all these other funnels and stores and things like that. So there's quite a lot in there. Over 11 hours of content, 100 something videos. It comes with a private Facebook community as well, where you can connect more intimately. It's a much more direct access to me and the small community where we're all out for each other. So if that is something you're looking for, I'd love to have you in there. I'd love to help you out. I'd love to see your progress a little closer firsthand. And if I can play any part of that, whether just through YouTube or through that training and course and community, I'm happy either way. So thank you so much for watching this. Really appreciate the time. Hope that it was worth your time. It was worth mine. It was a lot of fun. So thanks for hanging out. See you in the next video.